Hey guys, hope you're all having a great day. Today we're going to go over Matthew 2. I'm going to read it quickly. I'll read it quickly. And then we'll get started on the lesson, and I'll read the notes that I had for this chapter. And then, I wrote a little less for this chapter than that I wrote for the first one. So I'll just begin reading right now. And also, don't forget, if you'll like the video, please subscribe, like the video, comment any prayer requests that you have, and let us know any suggestions or feedback on any of the videos. We love y'all so much, and we want to hear from y'all. And so with that, we'll start. Now, after Jesus was born in Bethlehem of Judea in the days of Herod the king, behold, wise men from the east came to Jerusalem, saying, "Where is he who has been born King of the Jews? For we saw his star when it rose, and we have come to worship him." When Herod the king heard this, he was troubled, and all Jerusalem with him. And assembling all the chief priests and scribes of the people, he inquired of them where the Christ was to be born. They told him, "In Bethlehem of Judea, for it is written by the prophet, and you, O Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, are by no means least among the rulers of Judah. For you shall come a ruler who will shepherd my people Israel." Then Herod summoned the wise men secretly and ascertained from them what time the star had appeared. And he sent them to Bethlehem, saying, "Go and search diligently for the child, and when you have found him, bring me word that I may come and worship him." And after listening to the king, they went on their way, and behold, the star that had been seen when it rose went before them, until it came to rest over the place where the child was. And when they saw the star, they rejoiced exceedingly with great joy. And going into the house, they saw the child with Mary his mother, and fell down and worshipped him. Then opening the treasures, they offered him gifts, gold and frankincense and myrrh. And being warned in a dream not to return to Herod, they departed to their own country by another way. That's not the whole chapter, but I'm just going to divide it up a little more so I don't read for like 7 minutes straight. So the first question that I had in the notes, I knew who the wise men were, but I didn't know what a wise man was definition wise. And this is what it says. It says, "A men of unusual learning, judgment, or insight." And so I was trying to figure out, I've been comparing chapters, and I was trying to compare there were two different groups of people. In Luke, there was a group of shepherds that went to Jesus' birth, and then there was wise men. And I was trying to tell what the contrast was. And the wise men actually went after his birth, but the shepherds went to his birth. And so they went to Herod and said, "Where is he who has been born King of the Jews?" And I think they went to Herod because obviously he was the king at the time, and he was like, "Not here." That's Herod's response. And the wise men were like, "For we saw his star when it rose, and have came to worship him." And when Herod heard this, he was scared because he was king, and the wise men came not to worship him, but this other king, and he was extremely jealous of their worship for him. And what did Herod do? It says, "And assembling all the chief priests and scribes of the people, he inquired of them where the Christ should be born." And a prophecy in Micah 5:2, when it says, "But you, O Bethlehem, we are too little to be among the clans of Judah, from when you shall come forth for me one who is to be ruler in Israel, whose origin is of old, from ancient days." Then Herod got them all together and made sure that he knew what time the star had appeared, and then he sent them to Bethlehem to go find this Jesus. And he said to him, "Go and search diligently for this child, and when you have found him, bring me word so that I may come worship him." But this is obviously not the truth, because Herod was extremely jealous, and he wanted to remain on the throne and get his way. So he was like, "Oh, I'll come worship him." But obviously that was a lie, and he was going to kill him. And I asked the question, I kind of divided up in questions like, who is King Herod? And I looked it up, and I didn't find anybody, and all I wrote under was, never mind, he was a nobody. And so I said, what was the importance of bringing gifts to Jesus? And this is what I found out. I said, these men listened to Herod and went to Jesus. In verse 10 it says, and when they saw the star, they rejoiced exceedingly with great joy. And going into the house, they saw the child with Mary his mother, and they fell down and worshipped him. Then opening their treasures, they offered him gifts, gold and frankincense and myrrh. And in the old days, they would bring these things as a standard gift to like a king. And they recognized him as a king. And he was like 2 years old, and they bowed down to him. In Isaiah 60, verse 6, it says, it prophesies this, and it says, they shall bring gold and frankincense and shall bring good news, the praises of the Lord. They honored him as a king, as a Lord. And being warned in a dream not to go to Herod, they departed their own country by another way. And so reading the next little segment, it says, now when they departed, the wise men, when they departed, an angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream and said, rise and take the child and his mother and flee to Egypt and remain there until I tell you, for Herod is about to search for the child to destroy them. And he rose and took the child and his mother by night and departed to Egypt. And he remained there until the death of Herod. And this was to fulfill what the Lord had spoken by the prophet, out of Egypt I have called my son. It says, now that we have departed, an angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph. And it says, rise, take a child and his mother and flee to Egypt and remain until I tell you. For Herod is about to search for the child and destroy them. So Herod, full of jealousy and worry, wants to kill Jesus so he can stay on the throne. But the angel says, go to Egypt until I say so. So he rose and took the child with Mary and his mother by night and departed to Egypt. In Hosea 11:1, it says, out of Egypt I called my son. And so in the next one, it says, then Herod, when he saw that he had been tricked by the wise men, became furious. And he sent and killed all the male children in Bethlehem and all that region who were 2 years or older or under, according to the time that he had been ascertained from the wise men. This was to fill what was spoken by the prophet Jeremiah. A voice was heard in Ramah, weeping in loud lamentation. Rachel weeping for her children. She refused to be comforted because they are no more. And so in Jeremiah 31:15, it says a voice, it says the exact same quote. And I looked up lamentation, and it means like just a bitter cry. And I also looked up the story because I was trying to find more about it. And it said that there was like, I don't know if this actually was true, but it said that her cries could be heard 5 miles away. That's crazy. So I'm not sure if that's true, but that's what I saw when I was researching this. And so this is what it says. But when Herod died, behold, an angel of the Lord appeared in a dream to Joseph in Egypt, saying, rise, take the child and his mother, and go to the land of Israel, for those who sought the child's life are dead. And he rose and took the child and his mother, and they went to the land of Israel. But when he heard that Archelaus was reigning over Judea in place of his father Herod, he was afraid to go there, and being warned in a dream, he withdrew to the district of Galilee. And he went up and lived in a city called Nazareth, that was spoken by the prophets might be fulfilled. He will be called a Nazarene. So he fled to Galilee because he was warned by another angel in a dream to go and do so. And so when I was researching this prophecy, there's actually a lot of debate around this. But I found a verse that matches up really well. And this is actually in Greek. This is actually in Hebrew or Greek. This is the direct translation. Because a lot of people are like, oh, it says that. So I found it. In Jeremiah 23:5-6, it says in Hebrew, it says, behold, the days are coming, such says Yahweh, that I will raise to David a branch of righteousness, and shall reign king and prosper and execute judgment and righteousness in the earth. And his days will be saved, Judah and Israel, and they will dwell safely. So Bethlehem is in Judah. Galilee is in Judah. So he's saying he will save Judah and Israel, which he did, and he will dwell safely in this name, by which he will be called Yahweh, our righteousness. And so he's from this. This says that he will save Judah and Israel, and they will dwell safely in his name. And it says he will he will raise to David a branch of righteousness. And if you don't know, Jesus is from David's descendants. And he will build a branch of righteousness. And it calls Jesus the root, and he's the branch. He's also the branch, but he's saying that like David is the root in this like terminology, and that Jesus has branched off of like this lineage, and he's saying that he will save Judah and Israel, and which is what he did. And so obviously there's still some speculation with this verse, but I think this is the one that he was talking about. So that's all I have for this, and tomorrow I'm going to be posting Matthew 3, so please stay tuned. I love y'all so much. Please like and subscribe. If y'all love these teachings, if y'all have any questions or anything like that, I know they're kind of quick, not too long, but if y'all are enjoying them, I love doing stuff like this. I love researching the word, so I'm going to continue to do it whether y'all like it or not. So I'll do it to my own enjoyment. So I hope y'all have a great day, and praise the Lord.